Welcome back to BSTT. It's Ben here, and today I'm going over whether I think Zion is a bust or not. So let's get right into the video. So here are some of Zion's stats. He's been putting up really good numbers. He's been averaging his whole career 25.7 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, and 3.2 assists per game, which are really good numbers. But that's based off those numbers, he's not a bust. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about his different injury histories and about how he's not the best teammate, and that's not a good trait for a good player. So, CJ McCollum announced on live TV during the All Star game that ever since he got traded to New Orleans, Zion never reached out once, which is kind of a petty move because he's hurt. He hasn't played at all this year, and yet he didn't have the time for a 2 minute conversation or even a text saying, "Welcome to the team." Most people, when someone gets traded to their team, they reach out because that's a nice thing to do. That's what I'd do if I was in the league, but Zion didn't do it, which is kind of wrong. And then JJ Redick on, I think, the Stephen A. Smith show said that Zion is a detached teammate. And that basically means that he's not a part of the team. He's like separate, which I'm sorry. You shouldn't, when you're on a team, you kind of should embrace the other people on the team. Make them your friends and stuff like that, because the teams with better chemistry normally do better. And maybe that's why the Pels have never made the playoffs with him before, even though they've had multiple All-Stars on their team. But yeah. He was also in the beginning of the year seen out of shape. Although he hasn't been playing this year because he's had some foot injuries, he was been seen out of shape in, I think it was either the preseason or like opening week. And it's like, even though you have a foot injury, you can still work out the rest of your body. Because if he's like working out kind of, he'll be better when he comes back rather than him coming back out of shape. But he was seen out of shape, so not that good. And I'm gonna just talk about how good play. If you're an all-star and good players, you should make the players around you better. That's what superstars do. Like in the NHL, that's what happens when you play with like Gretzky or McDavid or something like that, or when you play receiver and Tom Brady's the QB or something like that, or being on a team with LeBron. They make you better around them. Zion does not, because we have two teams here. We have this year's Chicago Bulls and last year's Pelicans. And as you could see, Lonzo's on both teams. And they're very similar, to say the least. You have your two All-Stars in Zion and B.I. or Ingram. And you have your two All-Stars in Levine and DeRozan. You have a really good you have a good center in Steven Adams and Vucevic. You have Lonzo on both ones, and you have good role players like Josh Hart and like the bald eagle Caruso. So these teams are very similar, except the Bulls is maybe a little better. And the difference is the Bulls are first in the division, and the Pels didn't make the playoffs. And Lonzo's playing better, and that's all because the players around him made him better because they're actual superstars. Like if Zion was an actual superstar, they would have made the playoffs. Superstars make their teams better, and they make them make the playoffs. You don't see Steph missing the playoffs. You don't see, or actually LeBron missed the playoffs a few years ago, but that was because he had no one with him. Like Zion had the help around him. He had these players. They should have been at least the 8th seed or something like that. But like they're the first seed, and they're like the exact same team. But yeah, he's not making the players around him better. And his athleticism that he had in college, it's starting to fade a little, which is mostly because of injuries. But he needs to, how do I say it, like, not get injured that much. Like, he needs to work on other skills like shooting and stuff like that, so he's not driving every play and coming down. Because when he goes up for layups and stuff like that and dunks, when he comes down, that's when he might hurt himself. Like happened to D Rose. Forget who else that happened to, but happens to a lot of players. You don't want it to be him. And I think some of this injuries, like his foot injury. I think it might have been caused when his shoe exploded back in college a few years ago, but it's kind of like it was a few years ago. He should be getting better. But yeah, final conclusion is he is not a bust. By all standards, he's not a bust. But he needs to get better with injuries because he relies too much on his athleticism. And he needs to be a leader for the Pelicans because most superstars are leaders. And the ones that are leaders make their teams better and they win championships. If he wants to be a Hall of Famer or even an All-Star in the future, he's gotta win titles and start winning games and play better. But yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and have a great day. If you agree with my take, comment it down in the comments. If you don't, say what you don't agree with and what's different. Also, I'd like to shout out to Sports Talk with Jordan. He's a really good YouTuber that does videos similar to me, and we're going to have some collabs in the future. So subscribe to both of us and have a great day.